From Lee Fang, the sugary soda industry's covert influencer campaign falls apart. My friends, grifters are about, and it's going to get weird in this Trump term. So the long story short of this is that a handful of conservative influencers appear to have been paid to promote sugary beverages for welfare recipients. What a ridiculously weird thing to get paid to promote. But what you end up learning as you dig through the story is that there is a conservative leaning. It's a company that has reportedly been associated with large conservative influencer spheres of influence. A weird way to say it. But they pay money for prominent individuals on X and other platforms to promote specific products. Now, I got no problem if you're promoting a TV show. If for some reason you decided just today was the time to come and claim that Severance was a good show, maybe someone paid you. I got no beef with that. Promote your shows you like. I don't care if you're getting paid. It's a TV show. Ads for soda exist all the time. We do ads. We did an ad for this show. But when you're espousing political messages, now we got ourselves a problem because you're getting paid to be political. The bigger picture is, regardless of whether you're being paid to promote movies or video games or otherwise, you are legally required to disclose this. This is where the story gets crazy. Here's a story from Lee Fang. Conservative social media influencers have been caught posting coordinated messages opposing proposed nutritional guidelines for SNAP benefits. That's welfare. Food stamps. After receiving payments from public relations firms. The campaign emerged as HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy explores limitations on SNAP benefits for sugary beverages. During fiscal year 2021, the program dispersed over $121 billion in benefits, with a significant portion spent on ultra sugary drinks that provide minimal nutritional value. Take a look at this. We've got Clown World. The government wants to block soda purchases for Americans on SNAP. Remember when NYC tried this and it completely backfired? President Trump proudly had a Diet Coke button in the Oval Office. This is ridiculous government overreach. Let people decide for themselves. Eric Doherty. We cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force Americans into not buying certain things. Some officials in D.C. are working on trying to prevent Americans on SNAP from using those benefits to purchase any soda. Remember when New York City Democrats tried to prevent? Yep. Remember when Trump had a Diet Coke button? We get it. Let people decide for themselves. Ian Miles Chong, you get the idea. The same thing. They were all posting basically the same message. Now, this is the crazy thing. This basically exposes. Let me see. Do I have the, where is that silly website? Let me pull. I thought I had it pulled up. It's a website. No, I must have closed it. Let's see. Here we go. Influencible. This is the website that says unlock the power of influence. We have this story from Texas Tribune going back to 2023. And it references in late June, about a dozen conservative Gen Z influencers converged on Fort Worth for a few days of right-wing networking. They go on to mention the event was sponsored by a fledgling company, Influencible LLC, that recruits young conservative social media figures to promote political campaigns and films without disclosing their business relationship. That's illegal, by the way. On its website, the company touts itself as the world's largest network of digital activists and offers clients the power to cultivate a community of influencers to leverage their credibility. So here we have it. Let's see what happens when I go for influencers. Let's sign up. Get paid for being yourself. I'd like to get paid for being myself. Wait, what happened? Oops. Uh-oh. We're sorry. The form is no longer here. Gee, did maybe something happen recently where they started removing their influencer sign-up page? So we did get a response from Chad Prather, who says, I'm a comedian, I'm a conservative, I'm a man that makes mistakes. I love the values that I share with many of you. I'm often asked to share things. He says that he was I didn't take a payment for sharing it. I've had a large following for years, etc. Eric Doherty says, that was dumb of me, massive egg on my face. In all seriousness, it won't happen again. I don't think it matters. We got ourselves here a conundrum, boys. If we're looking at what I describe as Donald Trump in a wartime presidency, they tried to put him in prison. They arrested his lawyers. There were 2 assassination attempts. This is some degree of conflict. There is warfare afoot. We are not in a civil war. I'm not saying that. But Donald Trump needs to go after these corrupt individuals. They need to be indicted. They need to be arrested. Where are we at on this one? Because I'm conflicted, as I often am. I find this scummy. Promoting sugary beverages to welfare recipients? That's what you're doing? You're not even promoting Vote MAGA. You're saying, no, maha bad, everyone go buy sodas. Yeah. At the same time, this conservative influence network that pays people to post, this coordinated messaging is a counter to what Democrats have already been doing for decades. And if we don't counter their machine, we lose.
I get that. I don't like when the left does it, and I also don't like when the right does it. It's just gross to me. These guys selling soda, reminded me of Colbert dancing with vaccines on late night TV. There's just something gross to it.
I agree.
Do you remember like a week ago? I know we're in a time warp when Cory Booker and all of those Democrats put out that same exact video with the same exact script on Trump shutting down the government or something
that
like
ain't
that.
true.
Yeah. That's that one. I'm pretty sure a lot of these same folks made fun of that, only to fall into that exact same scheme.
Yep.
A week later.
Yeah.
I'm all for high levels of potentially even paid coordination on the right in order to make sure that conservatives win the day, right? The difference between right and left is that the left actually gets all their money from USAID on this stuff.
Used to.
Used to. And so I want to see that level of coordination. What I don't want to see is a level of coordination that brings people into the tent that shouldn't be there. Namely, these massive food corporations, these massive oligopolies that have no interest at all in advancing the America First agenda, right? Like they shouldn't be in the camp. I'm totally fine with paying people to engage with the public on issues that actually move the ball forward for MAGA. I don't think this issue moves the ball forward for
It's just
MAGA
once you know someone's for sale, how do you trust anything that ever comes out of their mouth?
Right. These individuals who are, you've got, for example, Ian Miles Chong, you've got Eric Doherty, you've got Clown World, you've got Chad Prather, and they're not the only ones. They're just the ones that are getting dragged on this the most. These are people, guys, with all due respect, I know some people have apologized to some degree. You know, Chad said, egg on my, he said, I didn't get paid for this. So if that's true that he didn't get paid for this, then fine. I actually don't see him in the list of these things, so I'm wondering what he posted specifically. But Eric Doherty saying that was dumb of me. You guys were posting ads without disclosing they were paid ads. That's illegal, right? So this goes back to 2016. The Kardashians got in trouble. The FTC will go after you. They say that a watchdog group found over 100 posts from the Kardashians that were not marked as paid advertising. When we do videos on YouTube, we're required to select a box saying this video includes paid promotion. Yeah. When we put so I said this earlier, I don't sell direct tweets, but we do tweet things that we do take sponsorships for. So when we've done events, we've had the sponsor say, we'll sponsor your event, but we want you to tweet about it. And I'll say, okay. And then we'll put powered by or sponsored by. Mm-hmm. I like to use sponsored by, or we'll outright put hashtag ad in it. Why? You're legally required to do so. I've even deleted posts when they were improperly posted. And we can't do that. Sponsorships are totally fine. The problem is they're not disclosing it. So how many other posts do they have? How many other posts, guys? You're saying, oops, my bad. Yeah, how many of your tweets, your X posts are paid for that you didn't disclose? Look, the challenge here is, will the Trump administration actually pressure the FTC to go after conservative influencers who like Donald Trump? Probably not. Right? That's the reality of it.
Should, though. I think everyone, if you do something bad like this, and you should go after it.
I think these people should go and delete every single paid promo tweet they have.
Not even, yes, but also tell us which ones they are.
Right.
Like, be super open about it. You know, this is all the ones I've done. I'm deleting them now, and we can move on from there.
I can't follow these people.
Oh, no, I don't follow any of these people. Maybe Chad is the only one I follow.
Their political opinions are for sale.
You deal with this way more than I do, of course. When are there different rules of the road for political opinions versus products, right? Because I think the soda thing, it's substantially
more highly regulated.
Yeah.
And you start getting into very serious electioneering stuff. So, for instance, when you want to buy ads on any platform, they have specific restrictions on social and political influence versus products. Mm-hmm. So Instagram's a good example. Let me see what I got going on over on the old Instagram here.
Oh boy.
So we do marketing, same as anybody else. And on Instagram, here's a good example. I have a video that let's see if I can find one. Actually, I'll just put it this way. I would say 99% of the videos I post cannot be promoted on Instagram. Anything pertaining to a social issue of political consequence will be rejected outright. So the few promos that I've done on Instagram, the one that I can pull up is the pogo stick over the Cybertruck. We did a boost on that one. And so the visible views you can see are separate from the views you get from advertising. On Instagram, if you do a promotion, it will not publicly display any of the views you get from the promotion.
And if you do a pogo stick over a Cybertruck, you deserve to have
Front flip.
views. Front flip?
Front flip. Pogo stick front flip.
You have to show me this.
crazy
after.
So
That's
it's got, I got 547,734 views on it. And then I ran it as an ad because it was doing so well and got an additional 179,773. That's the kind of stuff that I can promote. It's a pogo stick. Every time I try to promote my Instagram, anything in it, anything at all, it gets rejected as a political ad. YouTube is the same. There are heavy restrictions on political advertising. So I think the reason they don't disclose it is because they're bordering on very serious, like, ethical dilemmas in what they're allowed to spend and how they're allowed to do it. I can't say I know for sure because a lot of these are generic, but it gets called into question when they're not advocating for a politician. They're not advocating for a specific bill or anything. It's like any other commercial you'd see on TV where they're like, oppose the pill ban.
Right.
Call your member of Congress today. Like, you're allowed to do that.
They're paid to be bots. It's like dead internet theory, but with real people and paid for ideas, right?
I think it's scummy.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, it should be clear when it comes to at least topics like this that are totally flying in the face of all the things that the right has been going on about. First of all, the right doesn't like, social programs like SNAP generally.
Yeah.
Some people will say, okay, we need them, but for the most part, you'd think the right would be able to agree. Yeah, for things like soda and stuff like that, we should say you can't get that kind of stuff. It should be for necessities, for basics and stuff. Right. And then, so there is the argument, oh, well, the government shouldn't be telling you what to do with your money, which is what the argument that they're making. But this is, clearly that's an
With
error
my money,
in
you
the
mean?
premise. Exactly. It's an error in the premise because it's not their money. So anytime the government gives you anything, everyone knows there's strings attached, whether it be money to states or money to individuals. There are strings attached for everything. Yep. And then obviously the fact that it goes up, goes after it flies in the face of the Maha movement and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's just all ridiculous. And it was clearly a terrible idea for anyone to do this. And yeah, no one should trust any of the people that are posting those.
Apparently they were promoting Sound of Freedom too.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I like that movie. And so I'm fine with that. The only problem I have is they didn't disclose that it was an ad.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I don't get it. Who cares? I don't sell tweets. So the only times we've done it is, like I mentioned, someone sponsored IRL for an event or show and then asked us to tweet out the show link. And I said, I've explicitly told all the sponsors, we will not tweet out anything that's like, buy this product from this company. We will, however, tweet today's episode is this, sponsored by this company. That's totally fine. Yep. But I don't know, man.
Bad news, man.
Political opinions for sale.
Well, that's the thing is you can't trust these people now. And unfortunately, like these people have like such broad reach that it's like, well, okay, now, the fact that you have broad reach, now that's a liability. Mm-hmm. Instead of, an asset to the goals that people on the right have. It's like, oh, well, okay, everyone is going to look at you and be like, well, you can't trust anything they say. And then you're literally discrediting things that are true, that could be true that you can.
And thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.